I just take like a 1 minute break, close my eyes, and breathe for 1 minute. It helps me calm my body and doesn't make me frustrated anymore.
There needs to be a lot of explicit teaching around what do you do when, you start to feel frustrated. And it makes your brain kind of freeze in terms of trying to solve a problem or trying to do something that's hard. And so we do a lot of explicit teaching around growth mindset and explicit teaching around language for like how you're feeling and how you regulate your body and how your brain works. That when you start to get too frustrated with something that's really hard, it stops thinking about that because it's distracted by the feelings. And so you have to learn how to calm yourself and then move on. So they have all these tools that they can use when they do encounter that moment when you're trying to make them do something difficult.
I notice that if someone's tired, I'm going to be really patient with them because when I'm tired, I'm grumpy.
In our school, we talk about the zones of regulation. We all have feelings, and any feeling you're having, there's no right or wrong. It just is, because that's how we are as human beings. And so what helps us get back to a place that we could focus and work together? So we do a lot of art, we do a lot of writing in their journals, or some friends just want to lie on the ground and just breathe.
I watched this movie called Inside Out, and so it's all these feelings, like joy and sadness and anger and fear and disgust. And so all these feelings, they control how you're feeling. They are kind of the rulers of your body. But they're all in here. We have a blue zone, green zone, yellow zone, and red zone in our class. And and there's different feelings, and we like to stay in the green zone. Like right now, I'm happy, so that's in the green zone.
More recently, we started talking about the zones of regulation. It sounds like that's what they were telling you about. And there's the red zone and yellow zone and blue zone and green zone. And with that, it has visual images of facial expressions and then a label of the feeling. And basically, blue zone is kind of a really low energy feeling, like you're sad or tired, bored. And then yellow zone is when you're starting to get frustrated, you might be annoyed, or you might be feeling excited, so you're not quite calm. And then red zone is when you're really in that, you've got really big emotions, you're angry, you're frustrated, or way too excited, and really energetic. And then green zone is where we feel calm and focused and happy, and that's where we want to be because that allows us to do our learning and our work and so on. Being able to identify that helps them think about what they need to do in order to get to the green zone. So if they're feeling like they're in the blue zone, maybe they need to stretch a little bit. Maybe they need to go get a drink of water and then come back to what we're doing. Or if they're in the red zone, then maybe they need to calm down.
There's a little tent in our house, our classroom. And so when we go in that tent until the timer is out, it feels like you're calming down because it's literally called this calming space. It's like when your brain and body breaking, you can calm yourself and do close your eyes and take deep breaths.
They need to do some deep breaths or whatever they choose as their tool for calming down before they can get back to the green zone. So the goal is always to be in the green zone so we can do what we need to do.
our agreements that we save, like solving a problem, so after we've had some mindfulness time, because sometimes I'm so fired up that I just need to like have quiet to go, okay, how do I really feel about this now? Why do I feel that way? And how am I going to communicate that?
It's really important that both parties come at it feeling calm and ready to solve the problem. And so oftentimes we do like a body check. So for your own self as well as for the student, like how is your body feeling? Do you feel like you're at a space where you can actually have this conversation and solve the problem? And we ask those same questions of students. And as an adult, as a teacher in the classroom, we know that we need to make sure that if there's something unsafe, that we stop it immediately. But the problem-solving meeting does not have to happen at that moment. So if you are dysregulated as an adult, you cannot have a problem-solving meeting with a student. So you have to find a way to calm yourself first. So it might be an after-school thing. It might be during your prep period. It might be even the next day. We try to make it pretty, close to when the incident has occurred. But just like in restorative justice circles, you don't do it when everyone's emotions are so high they can't have the conversation. We teach them about, okay, so notice in your own body, how does it feel when you are feeling angry? And then what happens in someone's face? How can you tell? Like those kinds of pieces that help students to kind of unpack those very small nuances of what it means to feel some kind of way, and then identify it in themselves and other people, so then they can have that empathy for the problem-solving meeting to happen. And one thing that's really important, and we talk to students about this, is that feelings are never wrong. So if someone is feeling a certain way, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's okay for them to feel angry. It's okay for them to feel sad that this happened. And so we just listen.
Well, sometimes you can just breathe, and sometimes you can just might go to your potty. You could raise your hand and tell the teacher you can, or you might brought a toy that is your favorite, and then you can look it in the eye, then you might get happier.